Hey everybody, we're about to be starting here on Rockin Robbie Live on a Sunday night. I hope everybody's had a great weekend. Let's chat about comic books, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. Speaking of pop culture, I gotta talk about the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, April 18th and 19th, 2020 at the VBC here in Huntsville, Alabama. PCP will be there. We always have a grand old time. We will have a panel at the event, and it's just always fun. You can meet me and various members of the Excitable PCP crew, including Jelani and Brooks. That's right. I said Brooks. We'll be starting here in just a second. Y'all get ready with those questions. Hey everybody, welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers, and it's Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday night. Very excited to be chatting with you. Everybody available, welcome into the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let's get started. This show is driven by your questions. Other than that, we'll be taking a look at this upcoming week's new comic books. We'll be talking a little bit about the Picard premiere, non-spoilery, I should say, a non-spoilery look at Picard, episode 1. We'll be respecting the life and legacy of one Kobe Bryant. And we will be talking about a really interesting subject in the second half about, it's the question of the week, and I'll get to that in a little bit. We get lots of excitement here for you tonight, kicking off a live stream, Rockin Robbie Live. Once you jump in the chat, let me know that you're here. We have a great community here in the PCP Army. Speaking of the PCP Army, you can join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can also follow me on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. Also, Pop Culture Philosophers. We're on Instagram. We're here on YouTube, obviously. We're on Facebook, lots of different places. So check us out. And, of course, popculturephilosophers.com for the latest podcasts and more. So we got some people in the stream. Let's see what's up, everybody. Fetal ape, unicorns, 3 unicorns. 3 unicorns. That's very appropriate. I like that. Sam Fett says, what's up, PCP Army? Adam. What's up, Adam? Says, what's up, Sam? And what's up to everybody else, I'm assuming. What's up, Kid and Puke? How you doing? Good to see you, my man. Not a Teen Dog Shades tonight. Not a Teen Dog Shades night tonight. But soon, my friend, soon. Maybe in a couple weeks or so. Hamburger Basket, how are you doing? Jesse, say, what? How are you doing? Robert, first timer here. Oh, first timer. Well, we would say that you have been warned, but you have earned what is coming to you. Stolen from Jonathan Hickman. East to West, if you know what I'm talking about. One God Tank, welcome. And yes, you're right, R.I.P. Kobe. Coffee Breath, how's it going? What's up, Lewis? S Squared's in the building. You know we can't start a live stream without S Squared. Jesse, rest in peace. So sad to hear about his daughter as well. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Kobe Bryant, it was announced that Kobe Bryant died today in a helicopter crash. He was with one of his daughters, 13 years old. It's very sad. Kobe was 41 years old. I'm a Lakers fan. And I was even talking on Dylan's comic book rants last night because we were talking about sports and favorite teams, and I was talking about how I was a Lakers fan, but when Kobe and Shaq had the drama, I kind of disavowed myself of the Lakers for a little bit and then became a Miami fan, and I fell in love with Dwayne Wade. They won a championship. LeBron came there. It was a really fun, memorable time. Check out Dylan's live stream. I've done a couple of them with him, and they're all fun. But as a Lakers fan, I mean, as a fan of sports, as a fan of humanity, Kobe Bryant was not a perfect person, obviously. Nobody is, right? But Kobe Bryant was one of the greatest of the games, at the games. And it still bothers me, to really kind of talk about it. It's still kind of fresh. Like I saw it like immediately reported on TMZ. It was really, really rough. Kobe Bryant meant a lot, not only to the Lakers, not only to basketball and the NBA, but to just sports as well, to celebrity and pop culture as well. So it's super sad. It seems on my social medias, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it, impacted by it. So as a Lakers fan, I do want to take a moment and just have a short moment of silence for Kobe Bryant. So let's just do that if you'll indulge me. And my thoughts go out to his surviving family, and a really sad loss with Kobe Bryant today, one of his daughters, and a couple other people in the helicopter crash. Hate to hear it. Let's have a moment of silence for Kobe. All right, but now let's get on to better things, brighter things. It's really sad about Kobe Bryant, especially being a Lakers fan, but we'll move on. That's what we do. But I just wanted to acknowledge that. I don't know if a sports death has affected me as much as this one, because he just retired like a few years ago, and then there's I had problems with Kobe throughout his career as a fan, and I don't know, man. It's just really, really weird. It's a really weird feeling. This is kind of how I felt when Joe Strummer died. Maybe not as impactful. When Joe Strummer died, that was the first celebrity death that like legitimately affected me. I had just recently gotten into the Clash, and Joe Strummer's music and stuff was really speaking to me. So Kobe Bryant, I mean, it's just crazy. It makes us all think about ourselves, right? And just mortality, and to appreciate what we have while we have it, I guess. Anyway, any questions about comic books, pop culture, movies, television, all that stuff? Yeah, David Hatch. David Hatch is in the building. We have the Green Ranger table tonight because that 2-pack right there from the Lightning Collection, Hasbro, Green Ranger and Putty, will be opening that up at the end of the show for show and tell. Because as a grown-ass man, I have an internet show, and I can do show and tell, and I love doing it every week. It's fun. What's the beer of the night? Jerry, sadly, no beer for tonight. I got an apricot LaCroix. I know that sounds like I'm living dangerously there. I'm excited to try it. I've never had the apricot LaCroix, so let's try it out right now. Well, that's pretty delicious. I like that. I like that better than the peach pear one, I'll tell you that. Anyway, yeah, once again, January, no drinking. So no alcohol tonight. But maybe next live stream, we'll see what happens. Won't be a live stream next week because Super Bowl. But anyway, yeah, I know, kidding puke. I'm a wild man. Drinking that apricot LaCroix. Oh my goodness, apricot. Woo, getting rough, getting mean. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, Hail Green Ranger, yeah. Oh, thank you, Hamburger Basket. Yeah, that Thor poster's dope. Thor was a great book. Jerry says, question number 1, ... So we're waiting. Everybody get your stuff in right now. What's up, C3? What's up, Dave? Oh, the Royal Rumble's tonight. Oh, man. I haven't watched wrestling in years, so have fun for me. All right, we got some questions popping up. What's up, Eddie? What's up, Barry? What's up, Iron Galactus? All right, One God Take says, okay, Robbie, can you give your thoughts on the Picard comic books that were released just recently? Should we be reading this? Not necessarily. I don't think so. I read the first issue, and I was not impressed by it. I'm a big Star Trek fan. I try to get all we talked about this on Dylan's stream last night. I'm a big Star Trek fan. I got a bunch of novels. There's some right here, for instance. I got the TV series, I've got the movies, I've got, a lot of the comic books. I'm part of this Eagle Moss collection right here. These are the most recent ones that I've gotten. So I'm a big Star Trek fan. And, I mean, if you're a super hardcore Star Trek fan, I mean, yeah, by all means, check it out. But it's not essential for the show. It gives a little bit of the background, but if you are a Star Trek person, you already know that background. But even if you just go into Picard clean, it does a great job of setting itself up and explaining itself, and you can see how the stuff in Picard fits in the ongoing Star Trek narrative and timeline. But all that stuff doesn't necessarily matter. What does matter, they very adequately reveal in that series, in that first episode, I would say. Let's see here. Will Sir Cates' Thor be on the level of his Venom run? I don't know. I hope so. I really like his Venom run, so I know that he's got a passion for Venom, and that really does come across in the book. I know he's even got a stronger passion for Thor, and it does come across in the first issue, so we'll see what happens. First issues are difficult to do, but at the same time, one of the more easier things to do as far as comic books go, so we'll see what happens in issue 2 and 3. But I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a very solid run. I think he's very passionate about the character. I think Nick Klein is a great artist, and Matt Wilson, the colorist. We'll be talking about Matt Wilson just a little bit later on. But yeah, I think Donny Cates' Thor is going to be good for the long haul, and I think the Venom stuff's separate. I don't think it's going to be tied in with the Null or all that stuff, but I think he's going to tell us a good story. I'm very excited for it, but I think it's going to be good. Is it going to be on the level of the Venom run? I don't know. We don't know yet quite what the level of his Venom run is until it's over, to be honest, because right now he's done a lot of interesting exploration with Eddie. He's done some revisions that have made sense, some retcons, some stuff that he's added in, including Dylan Brock, for instance, and it's worked and it's made sense, and a lot of setup. Some people feel let down by absolute carnage, and I understand that feeling in it as an event, but as part of the ongoing narrative of Venom, excuse me, as part of the ongoing story of Venom, I think absolute carnage kind of fits right in there. So we'll see how he pays this off. I have faith in Donny Cates, but I haven't seen a lot of Donny Cates' long-term comics payoff because he's done great work. Most of his great work that we know of has been short-term, right? Silver Surfer Black, but it's 5 issues. Buzzkill, but it's 4 issues. God Country, but it's 6 issues. Baby Teeth is ongoing. Redneck is ongoing. His Venom run is ongoing, but they haven't hit an ending yet, so we haven't been able to actually see, because I don't think Donny Cates has really necessarily had the opportunity yet to stick the landing on a long-form comic book narrative. And we'll see. I think he can do it, but you never know. You know? I haven't been the biggest fan of everything he's done. Mainstream-wise, I thought his Death of the Inhumans was meh. I thought that his Guardians of the Galaxy run was decent, but it was okay. But, his miniseries have been amazing, so he understands the beginning, middle, and end, but does he understand that on an ongoing scale? That's something that we have yet to determine yet, because the evidence is just not there yet. But we'll see what happens with the Venom stuff, but I do have faith in Donny Cates. I think he's a hell of a writer. He's got great ideas. He can write a very exciting comic script, and he can handle the pressure so far, it seems. And there are moments where if you follow him on social media, you can tell that sometimes the pressure may get to him, but I think overall he can handle it, and he's been showing that and displaying that so far. Let's see here. Somebody said something about Strange Skies. Just caught up. What's up, Lewis? Just caught up on Strange Skies over East Berlin. I hope they do a nice job with the ending, but only 2 issues left. Well, Lewis, I don't know how caught up you are. It was only a 4-issue miniseries. So it's done now. It's over. Was it just 4? Was it 4 or 5? It was 4. It was 4. Jeff Loveness pretty much does 4. He did 4 with Judas. So the last issue, the most recent issue of Strange Skies is the end. And I really like it, but I do want to go back and reread all of them. I haven't been able to do that yet. So what's the deal with Picard? Do I need to subscribe / pay to watch this? Yes, Hamburger Basket, for sure. It's a CBS All Access show. It's $5.99 a month with commercials. I think it's $10 without. I personally have the with commercials bit, and I mean, whatever. I just, walk out of the room or whatever. I try not to pay too much attention to commercials. I think the commercials are the devil. It's like commercials and ketchup are like two things in this world I wish we could get away from. However, at the same time, commercials help fund this YouTube channel, so commercials are groovy anyway. But yeah, you do have to subscribe to it. I think it's an Amazon Prime thing, like overseas in certain countries. But here in America, I don't know necessarily where you're from, where you live, where you reside. But it is a pay service. It's CBS All Access. You can unlock a 7-day free trial. So if you have the patience, just wait until the entire season's done and then unlock the 7-day free trial and binge it all, is what I would recommend. But for me, $5.99 a month is well worth a current Star Trek show. But I am a huge Star Trek person, and you already know that. I heard they wanted it to unlike Star Trek of the past. Robert, I don't understand necessarily what you're saying. Brian, what's up? What are you thinking about the new Hickman series, Decorum? I am so pumped for it. Jonathan Hickman, creator-owned. East to West is over now. He can focus his attention on something else. He's got other creative-owned works in the works. I mean, in play right now. Black Monday Murders. What's the other one? Dying of the Dead. We want those to wrap up. I hear that the artists, are dealing with things there as well. But I'm excited. Mike Huddleston, I think he's going to do a great job. I'm really pumped. It's an interesting idea. It doesn't sound super Hickman-y, but it's definitely going to be made super Hickman-y. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly think that Hickman, I don't know. This is just, I don't know Hickman. I don't know Jonathan or anything like that. But it just seems from the vibe that I'm getting from his work over the last few years is it feels like he almost kind of lost some passion. And it really feels like the X-Men stuff has really, really reignited that for him. And so I'm loving his work on X-Men, and I'm very, very excited to see what's going to come in Decorum. But I also really want Black Monday Murders and Dying in the Dead to wrap up. So can we get that, please? And Manhattan Projects. What the hell? Manhattan Projects. Please, what is Einstein doing? I want to know. I'm just going to start writing Manhattan Projects fan fiction. Dave thinks that the basic premise of Picard is flawed because the Romulans have the Empire and they wouldn't rely on the Federation for rescue. Okay. Maybe. There is that. You can add it, and what's interesting, Dave, is we don't know where the story's developing. We don't know where it's going. So there may be animosity on a side of the Romulans. Now, I'm sure because the Romulans aren't going to all agree all at once, right? So I would definitely think that there would be Romulans that would be wanting help and accepting of help. And I believe that there are Romulans that would refuse that help. And maybe that's part of what's being set up. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a very simple, y'all abandoned us, and we'll, whatever. We'll talk more about Picard later on. But I want to see what happens. But so far, I'm cool with it because to me, I think what's important in the first episode. What's important, and maybe that criticism is very valid, and that is how it's going to play out. That it's very one-sided. You didn't help us, you deserted us, and now we're mad. But at least in the first episode, the pilot, what was most concerning was Picard's reaction to the Federation withdrawal. Right? That's the most important thing. What does it say about the character Picard? And that really does. Picard's whole life is Starfleet. And so if he feels betrayed by Starfleet and that affects his journey, because Picard is not the kind of captain that runs away and into retirement on a vineyard somewhere. Eventually when he's way old, like all good things, when he's no longer able, but as long as Picard is able to serve, he's going to try to serve. in any kind of capacity, right? So there's something major, right? And so what that says about the character Picard is very incredibly interesting to me. But we will see how the story unfolds. I would like to think that the villains, whatever they will be, and we're not going to really spoil too much, but I would like to think that whatever the villains' motives are, the villains, their collective motives, I would hope that it would be a little bit more nuanced than just that. But we'll see what happens. But a great observation, for real. That Romulan attitude. But how much has changed after Nero, you know? I saw somebody complaining it was part of the Kelvin timeline. I'm like, no, it's part of the TNG timeline. Yeah. Then Nero goes into the Kelvin timeline. Get? Right? Well, whatever. Now I've gotten behind on comments because I went off on Star Trek. Oh, and I got a whole segment of the show just down for that. Hey, thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. We got a $1.99 donation from Dave. By the way, we are accepting donations. We did get the new camera. I hope everybody noticed that the last few videos, not Comics Revisited because those were filmed earlier, but the last weekly pop culture wrap up, the last weekly comic book review, and the top 10 comics of the week. Those videos were shot with the new camera. I'm still experimenting with settings, so they're all three slightly different. So if you really want to help me out, let me know out of those three videos which one you think looks the best. That would really help me out. But anyway, a few people have noticed and made comments, but we have a new camera now that we use for the main videos, and I'm very, very excited, and it's only because of you here, giving donations, shouting out, helping out, putting in the helping hand. Reggie has been one of the biggest helps, period. And so that's why the new camera is called the Reggie. And I'm about to make a whole video on our Patreon account about that. So it's a great time to go ahead and thank our patrons right now. David, Alex, Adim, Nelson, Brian, Dean, Jason, Brian, Reggie, the Reggie, Robert, Javi, Peter, Dunlaney, TJ. We got a few more, but until the first, I'm not allowed to really give them any rewards, they say. So, but I want to thank you, everybody over at Patreon, so you can support us on Patreon. All of y'all have done so fantastic. Just watching the videos, you know, clicking an ad, buying a link down below. All of these things have led to us getting this new camera, and I'm super grateful and thankful, and I really do appreciate it. And now our next goal is to get Liana Kangas's hotel room paid for. And so if you want to help donate on that, please do so tonight, or you can just join on Patreon or whatever, or just watch the video. That's good enough. So everybody right now is helping the cause and the gospel of PCP. So thank you so much. Dun, 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 dun. Do you think Dylan's reveal could happen in Good Son? Well, I've already read Good Son, and there's a nice reveal that happens in C3, in their C3, so I would not sleep on that issue. Kid and Puke talking about Donny Cates stuff. Interceptor's a great book, but Reactor's not even finished yet, and there's supposed to be a trilogy. I really want to see how he nails the ending on that trilogy. That'd be really cool. Ads are better when they let the creator own it more. I'm always down for that. More creative freedom, more creative ownership. I'm down for that stuff. With Something is Killing the Children and Once and Future being Boom's strongest books, in my opinion, which one do you feel is the stronger story? So far, Once and Future. I would say I like Once and Future better. It's a little bit more impactful issue to issue. Something is Killing the Children is a little bit more of a slow burn. Once and Future gets right into it, right into the essence of it. It's like mainlined right into the story vein of the universe. And I really, really like that, but then we also have to see what happens with Something is Killing the Children's endings. I love them both. They're both two completely different books, but right now I would say I would give the edge to Once and Future. Hey, what's up, Bake the Snake? How you doing? I think Hoxpox gave him a big boost. Absolutely. What's up, Leo? How are you doing? What's up, Ben? What's up, TKS Batcave? First time listen, great live show. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. Tyler, how are you doing? There are already way too many X titles. Which ones would you consider essential going forward? As of right now, I think the essential X-Men books are X-Men and X-Force. Those are the essential ones. Everything else is non-essential. Everything else is something, but they're all interesting. So outside of X-Men and X-Force, I would say just read and continue on with the ones that you personally like, the ones that vibe with you. They're intentionally widening out this line to make something for everybody. If you like fantasy, check out Excalibur. If you like ninja stories, down to earth, gritty, like street level type stuff, check out Fallen Angels. If you like adventurous, fun, and if you love Kitty Pryde, check out Marauders. Me personally, I love Marauders. To me, Marauders is essential, but it's not essential yet. Everything is going to have things that lead into the overall thing, and there is going to be a big X-Men event and crossover for this summer. That's going to happen. So there's probably going to be a main series, and there will probably be tie-ins in every other X book. But there are a lot of X books. The only way to do it is either to be a baller and get everything, or just be the biggest X fan. Like Brooks is such a big X fan, he's going to get all of these. Jelani is only getting the ones that he's liking, and so far the only one that he's stopped getting has been Excalibur. Me, I have the luxury of being able to get them all. So, those are I think the most important ones are X-Men, because that's obviously Hickman and X-Force. X-Force and X-Men. If you like Toxpox, you'll love X-Force. There's no reason. You should be reading X-Force. If you like the X-Men books right now, all the argument about how there's too many, and there's more coming, y'all. Wolverine, Children of the Atom, X-Factor, Hellions, X-Corp, which hasn't been announced yet still, and the Moira specific book, which hasn't been announced yet. There's a lot of damn X books, and it is even, because I was trying to tell people, I mean, this isn't new. There's always a lot of X books. Yeah, but 15 is excessive. So I would definitely recommend only checking out the ones you like. But X-Men and X-Force, those are the two that I think you should be reading to get the whole gist of the story. Hey, what's up, Stephanie? Cold Pizza City, you know it. CPC. It's the inverted PCPC. So I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. What's up, Atari? How are you doing? What's up, Chris? How are you doing? Do I know what's up with the baby teeth delay? I do not know anything actually about the baby teeth delay, but if I had to guess, Donny Cates has more lucrative work at Marvel that he's dealing with. So when he falls behind or if his schedule gets heavy, that's the book that's gonna suffer for it. But I'm sure it has to do with Donnie just prioritizing his Marvel scripts over that. And that might be a part of his deal. Went out and picked up the plot issues 1 through 4 because of your video. Still haven't read it, but is it continuing? Yes, it will be continuing. Kitten Puke says, I went to Patreon for you, but got sidetracked by all the cam girls. Damn them. Well, you win some, you lose some, Kitten Puke. Both Dylan and Normie need a spanking. Yeah, you try to spank him, fetal ape. I'll tell you that. Zach, thank you so much for the support and helping us out towards our goals, our collective goals as the PCP Army. We really do appreciate it. When's Tether and Witches coming back, I wonder? I don't know what we mean by Tether, with Tether. I don't know. Witches is supposed to be coming back in the fall of this year. When I saw Scott Snyder in October, he mentioned that. But we'll see what happens. But the idea is that in the fall of 2020, around Halloween time, they're going to relaunch a second volume of Witches. Is Secret Crisis going to be a thing? Not officially. Probably not. Probably never will happen, to be honest with you. I don't think DC and Marvel, I just don't see them working together again. But maybe. I think it'd be cool. Basically, Jeff Johns put out the opportunity. And what's really cool is that Donny Cates and Jim Lee were doing like a signing this weekend or whatever. And like Donny Cates had done a Venom head sketch on somebody's comic and Jim Lee inked it. And then they did a hashtag Secret Crisis. So maybe Cates and Jim Lee meeting up, maybe that could be, the next seeds into getting this thing to be a reality. But I would love if there was a Secret Crisis. But the only way the Secret Crisis would work is if both companies were on board. I just don't see that happening. But maybe that would be amazing. That would be so cool. We definitely got to get another Marvel versus DC one day. And if they want to be really bold, they switch characters. One character from Marvel, one character from DC, that would switch places. At least for like just a year or two. Who would you pick? Who would you pick to switch? The very first thing that popped in my head was Daredevil and Nightwing. Maybe because I watched Everything Comics video today, and he was talking about what Batman characters he'd like to see face off against Daredevil, so maybe that's why it's freshly in my head. By the way, if you don't follow Everything Comics here on YouTube, you definitely should. Bullseye Bob is a friend of Bueller from Comics with Bueller, and they're both exceptionally cool guys. And they'll be having a video tomorrow morning. Their Coffee with Bueller, Coffee and Comics on Comics with Bueller is one of my Monday morning musts. But yeah. But if they switched characters, like for just a tiny temporary amount of time, if they switched a Marvel and a DC character in the universes, who would you pick? And because it wouldn't be anybody big like Batman or Superman or Spider-Man or Hulk. It wouldn't be anything like that, right? It would definitely be a B-list, C-list character. B-list if you want it to even... It would be an A-list if you really want it to matter, but they would not do that. But B-list if you want it to still be significant. C-list and you're like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal if you take Booster Gold and D-Man and swap them. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's even lower than C-list as far as D-Man goes. But I think D-Man's come up in the world. David says, for someone who doesn't like X-Men, I seem to have a crap load of X-Men comics. Well, Dave, that's on you, buddy. I don't force you to buy those. C3 says, oh, yeah. I did read X-Force, and it was good. Now I have to get the earlier issues to catch up. Yeah, it's been really good. Hey, what's up, Brett? What's up, Who Flung Pooh 3? That's the question, right? That's the existential question that bothers us all, is it not? I love that it's 3. So there's 2 people ahead of you that thought of that, or at least 3 people, right? Because there's Who Flung Pooh, and then Who Flung Pooh 1, Who Flung Pooh 2. In fact, because you got flung in all caps, maybe there's like, how many people thought of this before you? However, it all led to you being here tonight, cracking me up. If you think Psylocke is hot, Fallen Angels. Okay, there you go. I would say if you think Psylocke is hot, check out some of them swimsuit issues from the 90s. Hey, Robbie, on the mainstream titles, how are new characters handled? If a writer creates a character, say in Batman, does DC own the character? And is that why we don't get new characters much anymore? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. In fact, when Marvel and Fox were having their little thing where Marvel didn't want to really promote X-Men too much because they were pissy about the movie rights or whatever, or at least Ike Perlmutter was or whatever, there was something passed on editorially: do not create any new mutant characters, because those rights would immediately pass on to Fox as far as cinematically. But yeah, if you work for hire for Marvel and DC, and it's all freelance work, comic books is freelance work like that. If it ain't creator owned, you don't own it, they do. But that's also why you see more of people's best work on the indie books. The indie books are going to be, especially if you have somebody who you follow and really like, you saw a huge exodus with the rise of Image, post-Walking Dead, and then at the moment that they did Fatale, East of West, and Saga, there was this creator-owned renaissance at Image. And you saw a whole shit ton of people jump ship from Marvel, because at that time, Marvel had the best writers, I would say, for sure. And they all jumped ship and went over to Image. Ed Brubaker, Jonathan Hickman, Matt Fraction. There you go. Kelly Sue DeConnick. Lots of people. What creative team would you like for the Secret Crisis? or for the Infinite Wars. That's tough. Right now, I mean, Donny Cates, Jorge Jimenez. Wouldn't that be cool? But you would have to get an established writer from both. And right now, I mean, if they did something like this, if Marvel and DC got together and did a crossover in the future, it would be whoever the rock stars were in each company at that moment. If it happened today, it would be Donny Cates and Scott Snyder. But we don't know what the future is going to bring as far as who are the rock star creators. So it's going to be whoever the two hottest are at each one. They're going to work on it together. Or they would have several people working together. I think it'd be best to have two people working together. For instance, if they did it right now, Scott Snyder and Donny Cates, obviously, and I think that would work really, really well. Magneto and Joker switching spaces. Right now we're asking and talking about if Marvel and DC did some kind of a big thing and managed to somehow agree to switch characters, one character from each universe over for just a temporary amount of time, who would it be? Robert said Magneto and Joker. That'd be interesting. Tyler says Moon Knight and Red Hood. That could be really cool. Trying to track the other two down. Congratulations, Adam. Good evening, Discovery Bay Comics. How are you doing? Hey, Robbie Bateman's here. What's up, Big Robbie? Hypothetical here. With a lot of success with indie titles like lately, like Boom and such, who would you like to see come over to Marvel DC to give a shot, and at what title? I want to see Michael Morisi over at DC doing a New Gods title. That's what I want to see. If I got to pick any prominent, independent comic book creator to do something mainstream at the big two, it would be Michael Morisi over on New Gods. And hell yeah, bring Hayden Sherman with him. I would fucking lose my mind over that. Michael Morisi, Hayden Sherman, Jason Wordie, the entire creative team, in fact, of, and you know, actually, you don't even have to be Hayden Sherman. Just give me Michael Morisi on a New Gods book with a fantastic artist. That would be amazing. Oh, I see everybody starstruck all of a sudden. That must mean Bueller's here. What's up, Comics with Bueller? Your ears must have been ringing, and we were just talking about you. Good things only. I was talking about you and Bob and how I'm looking forward to your show in the morning. But yeah, as far as over at Marvel, man, oh man. I got to think about that, Robbie. That's a good question. It's a real good question. Well, thank you for stopping in, Bueller. We really do appreciate it, as always. You know, me and Bueller have been talking about doing a live stream together. Maybe we should. I'd like to hang out with Bob. I've never gotten a chat with him. I'd like to have Bob on a live stream. That'd be fun. I'd love to chat with y'all. Since I don't live in Portland, if I did, I'd wake up every morning and get to damn Saturday morning at that damn coffee shop. Was it the Refuge Coffee House? I'd go there. I know you're more of a Mocha Express. Is that what it is? Who's got the best cold brew, Bueller? That's what I want to know, in Portland. Who's got the best cold brew in Portland? I'm still thinking about this independent creator on Marvel, because I got my DC one for sure. Michael Morisi on New Gods. That would be amazing. Who would I like to see? I got to think about that still. It's delaying the show now. Loved the idea of amalgam. Me too. I loved it. Oh, we got Deadpool and Harley. Yeah, switch Deadpool and Harley. Nothing changes. Batman Professor X. That's interesting. That's really interesting. You think the amalgam stuff was just really weird? Brian, of course it was weird, but it was awesome. It was awesome. I loved it. It was my jam. Eggnog latte for Bueller. No more. No, not until next Christmas time, I guess. Hey, everybody, we got Hero and the Kid in here right now. New YouTubers, as far as comics books go. Check them out. Just uploaded, I believe, their newest video. Haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Hero and a Kid. Hero and the Kid. My bad. The Kid, not a kid. The Kid. All right, I'm putting it out there right now, guys. Let's get Bob on a live stream. Me, Bob, and Bueller. I want it to happen. Mocha Express is greater than the Refuge. Well, I don't want to reignite the coffee wars in Portland, Oregon. My favorite thing about Bob's show is when you see like a patron of that coffee establishment walking by and they're looking at him like, what in the hell is this guy doing? 5 a.m. in the morning, filming a comic book review show in a coffee shop. Bob is the coolest. He gave me a nice shout out in his latest video. I need a comment on it, actually. Hey, Two Gun Pedro's here. Pew, pew. How are you doing? David says smack that thumbs up button, guys. And yeah, let's do it, guys and gals. Let's see. We got 52 people watching here. Wow. I remember we used to only have like 20 people in here, so that's really cool. Thank you for being here. I'm really, really excited. We got 31 likes, so if we can get 20 more likes, you know, we always have this goal we like to do. Oh, we got 32 now, but now we got 52 in here. If we can get as many likes as we have people in the room chatting, that's always a great thing to do. Check, 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 check. Doing a little bit of audio adjustment there. Hero and the Kid pulling off a perfect Jim Mint impression in the latest video. I have to definitely check that out. Ooh, the coffee wars. That's a great idea. Hey, Robert. With the $9.99 feeling fine donation. Thank you so much. We were talking earlier about how we got a new camera this week. The last three, or some of the, you know, the last weekly comic book review, the last weekly pop culture wrap-up, and the last top 10 video were all done with the new camera. 3 different styles because I'm still working with settings. So if you guys want to do me a huge favor, you can go check out those videos after the stream. Let me know which one you think looks better. But we got a new camera, and it's all because of donations here on the stream, because of people over at patreon.com/PCP. Everybody watching the videos, checking out the ads, clicking the links below on Comics Revisited or something, or the graphic novel reviews. If you buy the book through our link, we get a tiny little bit. We do have merch. We haven't ever seen a penny from our merch, but it's available. Those links are always in the descriptions. But Robert, I really do appreciate that. That's well far and above and beyond. And thank you so much. We really do appreciate that. Bob keeps having that older gentleman look over his shoulder each episode. I think, is that the guy that just walked by him and he was like just dead-eyeing him the whole time, just like, what's this man doing? That's the guy that's like, stop talking about comic books or I'll kill you. Like, seriously, every Sunday morning I watch his video, right? And I'll play it, and my girlfriend will usually be playing on her computer or something, and she'll look over me and she'll just be like, and I'm like, what song is that? I want to know what song that is. I want to hear the whole damn song. But Robert, thank you so much. Oh, TKS Batcave says great live stream. Thank you so much, Batcave. We really do appreciate that. It makes everything we do possible. Let's see here. Trade waiting. You guys are talking about something you guys are having conversations amongst yourselves and I feel left out. Anyway. Oh man, we've had a great chat already. We're almost at an hour and we haven't even started looking at the upcoming new comics. So we're about to do that. What's up, Jesse? Jesse is in the house. Yo, yo. Next question. Let's get to it. What was your favorite comic book last week? What was your pick of the week last week? January 18th. Mine was Once and Future number 6. I absolutely adored it. I loved it. Thought it was great. Shane says, both Jason Aaron and Scott Snyder seem to be wrapping up a lot of titles at the big two. Personally, I'd love to see them trade sides in their prime. Thoughts? Jason Aaron on Batman, Snyder on FF. I think Snyder's going to focus more on creator-owned work, but he's also a really strong rumor saying that he's relaunching JSA. So there's that. Jason Aaron on Batman could be cool. Snyder on FF, I don't know. I don't think that's a good fit. Snyder is, I wouldn't call Snyder a sci-fi writer, and I think you need a really strong science fiction writer on Fantastic Four. In fact, that leads me to go ahead and announce Robbie Bateman. You asked me earlier what indie creators I would like to see tackle the big two, and I said Michael Morisi on New Gods, and I was struggling for one for Marvel. Dennis Camp, writer of Maxwell Demons. I've gotten to know him a little bit. Super cool guy. He's got great ideas. I don't know if he'd ever do a big two book, personally, but I'd love to see him tackle Fantastic Four. That'd be really, really cool. But Jason Aaron on Batman could be interesting. Scott Snyder, though, over at Marvel, I would prefer to see him take on Daredevil. That song is from Comic Tom's father's band. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. You learn something every day. The more you know. All right, S Squared says, Wasted Space, always pick of the week. It was my number 2, I believe. Yeah, number 2. Pretty sure number 2. Robert says, Once and Future was my pick also. Great minds. Hamburger Basket says, I actually bought Outcast Volume 1 last week. Always liked the story and art in that book. It's almost over, so I'm going to wait till it's wrapped up, and I'm going to go ahead and read it all because it was a very slow burn for me, and I fell out of it. Discovery Bay Comics says, Once and Future and the ending of Marauders. The ending of Marauders was strong, man. That was really, really good. And yeah, Once and Future is great. That's a great book. So get it in right now. What's your favorite comic book of last week? Discovery Bay Comics says, I also enjoyed the depiction of Penguin in the latest issue of Batman. Yeah, me too. I'm not always the biggest fan of March's artwork, but I thought his Penguin and Riddler were gnarly. Gnarly. Tyler says, Good son, pick of the week. And Dylan was here earlier. I approved his comment, then I forgot to mention it, but Dylan, you son of a bitch. Hey, SCG1610, damn, finally made it to a live stream. Robbie, fire. Rock on fire. Hell yeah. Well, fire, rock on fire to you, my friend. Thank you for making it. Right now, we're asking everybody what their favorite comic book last week was. Mine was Once and Future. We got a few more Once and Futures in here. A Wasted Space. We were talking about how gnarly the Penguin looked in the latest issue of Batman. Good Son was a great book, and if you're reading Donny Cates' Venom, do not sleep on Web of Venom. Good stuff happens in Web of Venom. That ending of Marauders was amazing. Hamburger Basket was talking about Outcast. Dave says, I didn't like the depiction of the Riddler at all. Well, the idea is that there's some kind of crazy, figure or cabal or something, or maybe Joker, or maybe it's Joker related, or maybe it's related outside of the Joker, and the Joker's going to somehow come around that. I don't know. It seems like the Riddler's really worried, and he's giving himself all kinds of crazy drugs to enhance his mind, and usually those kind of drugs are speedy kind of drugs, and that can lead you to not eat. So I understand the physical appearance of him, but I also understand not liking it. But don't worry, another artist will draw him in a completely different way, right? Oh, Bueller says Folklord's number 3. Folklord's number 3 was amazing. I think it was my number 3 of the week, 3 or 4. I loved it. I thought it was great. I've been loving that series. How are there only 2 more issues? I feel like we got a lot more story to tell, Bueller. Is there a Gut Ghost number 2? I know Gut Ghost has been a series of one-shots. I know there was one that released recently. Dave says the best last week was Kill Lock 2. I didn't read Kill Lock 2. I wasn't completely sold on 1. So maybe I need to check it out. S Squared says Once and Future was my number 2. Two Gun Pedro Pew Pew said enjoyed reading Kids from a Blaze. Yeah, I was really surprised by Kids. What are your thoughts on Kevin Smith's Batman Cacophony? Good Son and Far Sector for me, by the way, on C3 called me out on my top 10. I'm not digging it as much. Maybe I should just reread the first 3 and see what happens. That usually helps. I like it and I don't. It's weird. Thoughts on Cacophony? I don't like it. to be honest. I don't like that or the Widening Gyre. I don't like them. Super pumped for Kevin Smith to do some Batman work. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Like his Green Arrow. Love his Daredevil. Do not like those Batman books at all. Oh, yeah. Folklords is great, D. Metz, and welcome. Yeah, if they got first prints, get them. That's good stuff. Yeah, Hamburger Basket. I remember that issue. Why can't Tony Daniels stay on Batman? Actually, why can't an artist stay for 2 freaking issues? Because it ships bi-weekly. There's 2 issues a month. That's why. So Tony Daniel, Gilliam March, and Jorge Jimenez are the 3 regular artists on Batman. They will always constantly be alternating. And yeah, they will throw other people in there as well. But Batman comes out twice a month, and an artist can barely keep up with a monthly comic book nowadays. And so totally not going to be able to do 2 a month. But that's why. And why did Tony Daniel leave after just the first issue? Why did they switch it up that quick? Because I still 100% believe, and I said this on the stream that we did last week, me, Bueller, and Dylan on Dylan's channel, I still feel like this was kind of thrown together to replace. I think that the Tom King shortening of the Batman run was unexpected. I think that they were then trying to set up for the Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch run to be the replacement. And then I feel like they wanted Alfred to stay dead. So there you go. Then they rushed into the Tynion thing. So I think that the Tynion stuff is super quick. For instance, when I got an early peek at issue number 2 of Batman, and usually when I get FOC previews of comics, they're fully rendered, right? This one was all line work. And some of it was sketches. Some of it wasn't even finished comic book artwork. These books are like right on schedule. Like they're probably drawing and finishing up the next issues right now. You know what I'm saying? But March and Daniel are going to be alternating for this arc, and then Jorge Jimenez is coming in. And I'm excited about that. Bueller said, missed out on Kids number 1, need to find a copy. Bob has a copy. I've seen it, so definitely check it out from him. I wish they would go back to monthly and all Batman titles. Me too. Yeah, me too. Twice a month is too much for some titles, personally. But I don't know. We'll see. Out of my 2 comic shops, I only saw 1 copy of Kids. We were able to get it. Hell yeah. Kyle Hotz did some Detective Comics a while back too. Hotz or Hotz? Hotz with a Z. Yeah, that's right. Such a cool artist. Think he's doing some Ravencroft covers. Yeah, I love Kyle Hotz. Kyle Hotz had a book he did back in the day with Paul Jenkins called The Agency from Top Cow. That was pretty good. Yeah, Dave, I'm right there with you. I didn't like those last 2 issues of Detective. But, you know, that's just how it goes. All right, we've been on for an hour, and we haven't even talked about what's coming up this week. So real quick, let's look at what's coming up this week in new comics. Let's start with Image. We never start with Image. We got Criminal number 12, Farmhand number 13, Ice Cream Man number 17, hell yeah, Philadelphia number 3, Monstrous 25, Olympia number 3, Outcast number 44, The Protector number 1, which is a new one, Redneck number 25, The Sea of Stars trade paperback, Sex Criminals returns with issue number 26, The Thumbs trade paperback, Weatherman volume 2 number 6, big week for Image. Big week for Image. From Dark Horse Comics, we've got Frankenstein Undone number 1. I'm so excited about this. See Mignola and Stenbeck back together on this Frankenstein book. Invisible Kingdom number 9 comes out this week. And Witchfinder, Reign of Darkness number 3 from IDW. Narcos number 2. Read Only Memories number 2. Star Trek Picard Countdown number 3. Star Wars Adventures number 30. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 102, and Transformers number 16, and Usagi Yojimbo Color Classics number 1, in which IDW is reprinting the Usagi Yojimbo books in color for the first time. Very excited for that. I'm a big Stan Sakai fan. From Dynamite, we have Betty Page Unbound number 10. George R.R. Martin's A Clash of Kings, number 1. Kiss Zombies, number 2, or number 3, my bad. Red Sonja, Vampirilla, Betty, and Veronica, number 8. And that looks to be that. From Boom Studios, we have Go Go Power Rangers, number 28. Something is Killing the Children, number 5. Light week from Boom, but a strong week from Boom. And then we'll take a look at some of the smaller companies. I know that Vault has a few out this week. Let's see. We got Animosity, number 26 from Aftershock. We have Apocalypse Girl, number 1 from Source Point Press. We have Black Stars Above, number 3 from Vault. Cult Classic Creature Feature, number 4 from Vault. Maul, number 5 from Vault. And The Maul, number 6 from Scout Comics. Misplaced, number 3 from Source Point Press, which makes Misplaced have 2 issues in January, which means it's in danger of having 2 spots on my brand new video debuting later on in the week, Top 10 Monthly Comics. What? That was a subtle announcement. Ogres, number 3. Quantum and Woody, number 1 from Valiant. A brand new Quantum Woody book. I'll definitely check it out. Rick and Morty, number 58. Seance Room, number 2. Shoplifters Will Be Liquidated, number 4. Touching Evil, number 3. Big week for Source Point Press. And Vagrant Queen returns with a new miniseries called Planet Called Doom, number 1. Vagrant Queen is a Vault comic book. Magdalene Visaggio. Really liked the book. Thought the first volume was pretty good. It's going to become a sci-fi TV series this year. So I'm very excited about that. So that's what we got. We'll be taking a look here at Marvel and DC. Let's start with DC. From DC, we have Action Comics 1019. What else? Detective Comics Annual number 3. Dial H for Hero number 11. A second printing of Far Sector number 1, finally. Flash number 87. Green Lantern Black Stars number 3. Justice League number 39, the finale of Scott Snyder's Justice League run. Justice League Dark number 19 is out this week. Last God number 4. Shadow of the Batgirl, which is a young adult book, I believe. It's a Cassandra book. That is out. Suicide Squad number 2. Terrifics number 24. And Titans Burning Rage number 6. And from Marvel, we got a facsimile edition of Amazing Spider-Man 347, tying in, of course. Isn't that tied into Venom Island? Isn't that the Venom Island stuff? Anyway, maybe it's not. Amazing Spider-Man Daily Bugle number 1. Avengers number 30 is out this week. Avengers of the Wastelands number 1, which continues the Old Man Logan verse. So if you like all the Old Man books, definitely check that out. Captain America number 18. Captain Marvel, The End number 1. Conan the Barbarian number 12. This is the end of the Life and Death of Conan story by Jason Aaron. Mohamed Azrar and Matt Wilson. We'll be talking about Wilson a little bit later on. Deadpool, The End number 1. Doctor Strange, The End number 1. Oh, they're too many goddamn one. Come on. Doctor Strange number 2 is out this week. There are going to be some X-Men books. Yep, here we go. Fallen Angels number 6 is out this week. The trade paperback of Fantastic Four Grand Design Treasury Size Edition is out. That's really cool. Hawkeye Freefall number 2. Immortal Hulk number 30. Jessica Jones Blind Spot number 2. Some second printings of Magnificent Miss Marvel and Marauders. And Miles Morales. New Mutants number 6 is out this week. Ravencroft number 1 is out this week. Spider-Ham number 2. Star Wars number 2. Tarot number 2. Thor number 2. Very excited for that. Very excited. Weapon Plus World War IV is out this week. It's going to be a man-thing-centric Weapon Plus book. Damn, a lot of one-shots there. Wolverine vs. Sabretooth 3D. I think that's the Wolverine number 10 issue. Is it number 10? In 3D. That's really cool. I bought those 3D comics so far. They did X-Men number 1. They did Amazing Spider-Man 300. But I've never opened them. I need to open them up and check them out. And X-Men number 5 is out this week. Very, very, very excited for that. So those are the comic books coming out this week. Let me know what you're most excited for. Let me get to some of these comments real quick. Ice Cream Man, a very cool book. Needs to start getting trades. I have sporadic issues. Yeah, that's a great one. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, the Ice Cream Man covers look great. Did you ever try that augmented reality app for Marked or Sonata? No, I have not. I need to. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, Black Star's above number 3. Very excited for that. Hell yeah. Thor number 2. Very excited for that. All right. That brings us to the end of the first half of the live stream. Don't worry, we got a whole lot more show coming up. In fact, we'll continue on with your questions. We'll be talking about Picard in a non-spoiler way. We'll have the question of the day, and it's related to comic book coloring. So that's really cool. And we got show and tell. I'll be opening up this Green Ranger action figure right there. Who's illustrating your Michael Morisi New Gods run? It could be anybody. It'd be really cool. Nick Darrington would be great. Hayden Sherman would be great. Yeah, those are my 2 picks. Picked up Jessica Jones number 1 issue. Yeah, I really like that. The Kelly Thompson Jessica Jones run is really good. That was digital first. You can actually get that trade already. I liked it, though. I thought it was really, really solid. Anyway, we're going to be taking a quick break. And during the break, there's been some talks lately. Yeah, Orlando, you're right. It is a 5th Wednesday. But because of the 5th Wednesday, we've had a lot of lighter weeks this week, or this month, I should say. Lots of talk lately about the Robbie Rants theme song, and I no longer title my stuff Robbie Rants, but you know, the dun 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 dun. So I've had some people say, hey, you should change it. So on the top 10 video, I started alternating music that I have permission to use, and music that I created myself. And every time I change the music, most people are like, whoa, what'd you change it for? And I keep getting comments in support of the theme song, which I did compose myself. And it may not be the most banging, bumping joint. But anyway, on the break, why don't you listen to it in full? Here it is. We'll be right back here on Rockin' Robbie Live. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. Tonight, we have talked about the new comics. We've talked about a whole bunch of comic book type stuff. We've talked a little bit about Kobe Bryant, and we will always miss him. And we're just going to keeping on with everything. We'll be talking in this second half about the Picard show. We'll be talking a little bit about coloring in comic books, and we'll be doing a little bit of show and tell. So this show, as always, is driven by your questions, comments, and concerns and thoughts and all that kind of stuff. So go ahead and get them in right now, and let's get the second half going. I'm very excited. I got the energy. Do you have the energy? I want to thank our patrons real quick. David, Alex, Adim, Nelson, Brian, Dean, Jason, Brian, Reggie, Robert, Javi, Peter, Dunlaney, and TJ. We really do appreciate it. If you want to join them in support, it's at PCP, or it's at patreon.com/PCP. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. You can join the PCP Army. It's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group, and you can join that. I got to mention the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. It's a great convention we have here in Huntsville. We got Chris Claremont coming this year. We got Liana Kangas coming this year. We've got Jason David Frank coming this year. We'll have a panel. You can meet me and other members of the Excitable PCP crew like Brooks and Jelani. And yeah, I did say Brooks. We'll be having a grand old time at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. So thank you for being here. So let's get it going. I do also want to plug our podcast. Podcast is available at popculturephilosophers.com. This week, we got the weekly comic book review late Tuesday night, top 10 weekly comic books on Thursday morning. Comics Revisited on Friday morning with a look at Zenith, which is the Grant Morrison comic book from 2000 AD with Steve Yoel. Me and Brooks on that video, really, really great comic book, early Morrison stuff, but it's super fun. That's going to be Friday, and I'll be live premiering it and chatting with everybody. I also live premiere the top 10 videos on Thursday mornings, so that's always cool. So yeah, and we're also on Instagram. So there you go. Oh, thank you, Hamburger Basket. I appreciate that. Great jam. Thank you. I call that song Robbie Rants. Shane, how are you doing? I'd love to see Rom V, Dan Waters, and Ryan Parrott get some more high-profile work. Rom on a Swamp Thing, proper title, and more creator-owned stuff. You definitely have more creator-owned stuff coming from Rom V, and you also have him as the ongoing writer of Justice League Dark, starting very, very soon. So I'm excited for that. And Dan Waters is really tearing it up right now, both with Coffin Bound over at Image, which starts its second volume in the summer, I believe, and Lucifer right now, which just released its second trade paperback. So I definitely, after I revisit The Watchmen for the finale of Season 2 of Comics Revisited, which that's what I'm in the middle of right now, once I finish that up, I'm probably going to be jumping on to Dan Waters' Lucifer and get caught up on that. The last two Batmans have such good art and coloring. Yes, they do. Absolutely. Hey, Hamburger Basket with the $5 donation helping us towards our goals collectively. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. We just recently got a new camera because of all the donations, all the support on Patreon, on here, on YouTube, on these live streams, all that stuff. So Hamburger Basket, above and beyond. Thank you so much. Isn't Animal Man returning in something? Animal Man will be featured in Rom V's Justice League Dark run. So that's cool. Brian says, I am excited for Bitterroot to be coming back. Me too. Bitterroot's a great book, and I'm really, really excited. Chuck Brown, David F. Walker, Sanford Green. I got to meet Chuck and Sanford, and man, Sanford? Yeah. And really cool guys. David was not there, though. David was not there. Not there. So, has anybody here watched Picard? Holler right now. Personally, I absolutely loved Picard. I thought it was amazing. So I'm going to give a brief spoiler-free review. So if you want to chime in, throw it out, that's cool. No spoilers. I thought Picard was amazing. If you're a Star Trek fan, old school, like me, I loved it. If you loved TNG, I think it's great. I think it's such a great book. I think it's such a great TV series. I love that first episode. Patrick Stewart was amazing. The supporting cast was great. I liked some of the new characters. I thought it was a great exploration of Picard, where he is right now, his conflicts with Starfleet, his conflicts within himself. I thought it was absolutely stunning. I love his relationship with his dog. He's retired to this life of vineyard because he's had this disagreement with Starfleet, and there's all kinds of crazier stuff going on. It involves Romulans. It involves so much. You get a little bit of data action in there. How? I won't really tell you, but it's such a great... I just loved it. I loved it so much. Now I see that David here says, I'm concerned with the loss of optimism of Trek. Trek explored current issues dealing with aliens. Starfleet is not the whole Federation. I don't feel like they would go along with not saving the Romulans. So one of the big things, of course, is that this is slightly spoilerish, I guess, but like Picard has left Starfleet because after the Romulan tragedy, which is Romulan was destroyed, and that's what spawned Nero's quest for vengeance, which led to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie and the Kelvinverse, as we call it. So this is dealing with the after effects of that, but I really like it. I think it's a great character exploration on Picard. It's interesting. I like it. I don't feel like it's not optimistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's starting in a dark place, but stories start in a dark place, not to take you darker. I mean, at times they do, and that's just the nature of it. But this is leading us somewhere. I wouldn't say that there's a lack of optimism. It is a little dark. It can get a little melancholy. But overall, I really liked it. Patrick Stewart, amazing as always. I loved all the other actors in it, and the setup and the surprise at the end really blew me away. So I loved it. Any sign of LeVar Burton? No, not in the first episode. In fact, they haven't even shown the Jonathan Frakes stuff, and we know he's there with Counselor Troy, right? He better have a trombone, goddammit. But I don't know if LeVar's showing up or not. I hope he does. Geordi, I'd love to see some Geordi. But I really liked Picard. I thought it was solid. I thought it was great. And already favorite TV series of the year. Of course, the year's only 26 days old. So there's a lot more to go, including, Lock and Key. What else? Umbrella Academy Season 2. Lots of good stuff coming up this year. Does anybody else watch Picard, and what'd you think about it? Hamburger Basket says, favorite coloring in comics has to be Annalisa Leone in Oblivion Song. I have read it in different lighting, and the color pops, especially with natural light. That book has some really good artwork. I need to get caught up. He's awesome, but you don't have to take my word for it. You're right. Geordi is probably dead, as he was in the Utopia shipyard in the comic before the attack. I don't think he's dead. Reading Rainbow. Y'all remember that bit in Community with Donald Glover and LeVar Burton? That's like one of my favorite bits in that whole damn show. All right, we're about to get to the question of the day, but I really did like Picard. I thought it was solid. Alexander likes Picard. William says, Picard is great. Let's see the return of Q. Now that would be interesting. That would be cool. All right, so we're about to ask the question of the day. The question of the day is this. Who are your favorite colorists in comic books currently? Boom. Will Picard bring his dog? Captain Archer had his beagle. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll bring his dog. There's a whole lot more coming up in Picard. There's a whole lot more coming, So that's what's going to be the most interesting is at the end of the episode, you see basically a trailer for the rest of the series, and there's some interesting characters that seem to be popping up, and some cool conflict and a cool mission. And I really just enjoyed the hell out of it. I loved it. The music was great. The cinematography was great. The acting was great. I liked the script. I thought it was cool. I really liked it. But no, I don't think he's going to bring the dog. I don't think so. That'd be cool, though, maybe. It's always a possibility. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking you, what's your favorite comic book colorists right now? Favorite colorist in comics. Coloring is very important. And I was talking with Bueller and Dylan last week on Dylan's channel about this, that I feel like we've lost the inker, but we've gained more out of our colorists. Does that make sense? So I really, really do feel that. In the coloring back in the day, you have like for instance, John Higgins. Excuse me. John Higgins did The Watchmen and Batman the Dark Knight. Not the Batman the Dark Knight, but Batman the Killing Joke. And the Killing Joke has been recolored by Brian Bolin, and I've got my opinions about that. You can check out our Comics Revisited on Killing Joke to hear my full thoughts on that. And I'm pretty sure they're passionate. But I love John Higgins' work. But coloring in the day was less nuanced than it is now. Coloring now adds depth, it adds texture. It does what inking used to do. So a lot of people will ink themselves, or it goes straight digital, and then they can convert it to inks, or they just color directly on the pencils, stuff like that. Chris says he likes Ed Pisker's coloring. That's very old school stuff, and I like it too. It's old school, but it has a nuance to it. It has a texture, and I really, really like that. The current Batman colorists, yeah. Who are they? I know right now it's Moray, right? Tomu Moray. Moray's awesome. I love the Batman coloring right now. One God Tank says, whoever's coloring Once and Future is amazing. That's exactly right. That's Kitten Puke up there, says Tamara Bonvillain. That's who colors Once and Future. So amazing. So let me go ahead and get into my favorite colorists, if you'll indulge me real quick. C3 says, Jesus Sayas and Arif Prianto. So I got a few I really want to highlight as mine, and then go ahead and chime in with your favorite colors. Let's get this conversation going. Matt Wilson, right there, his work on Thor. Look how shiny that is. He did Wicked and the Divine, and there's his work on Conan. You can see his color palette. You can see the brightness of it, but he also can ground it in reality right there. Very diverse. Love his. This is Chris O'Halloran from Ice Cream Man. Really love his coloring. He's got a very sickly sweet color palette for Ice Cream Man that really fits the tone of the story, and it's perfect. This next image is from Generation Gone, which is one of my favorite comic books of 2017. I want it to come back. This is Vittorio Astoni. This is from Maxwell's Demons. Look at that texture, that richness. This is his work from Canto, an amazing book, but once again, that texture, that richness. This is from These Savage Shores. Astoni is a hell of a colorist. He's my favorite colorist this year. This next work is from Tamara Bonvillain. This is Once and Future. Her artwork is amazing. Her coloring, the way she balances and has maximum effect. She uses that color as an anchor on the page, and it really makes the page pop and work. And that blast panel right there is one of my absolute favorites so far in January. That's her work on Doom Patrol, the Doom Patrol book from Gerard Way. That's when I first started noticing her as a colorist. One of my all-time favorites, though, is Dave Stewart. It doesn't look like much, but less is more, and Hellboy is an example of that. Dave Stewart doesn't just do Hellboy, he now does Gideon Falls. You can see his same style, his same use, but every color is perfectly picked for exactly what it's trying to do. So those are some of my favorite colorists. I want to know what are some of your favorite colorists. Let us know right now. I'll get to your comments. Robert says, I don't know who it is, but I like the coloring in Sonata. I agree. The coloring in Sonata is good. I don't know if it's the artist, if it's just one artist or somebody does line work and someone does coloring, but you're right. I definitely need to check that out. Immortal Hulk colorist Paul Mounts. Paul Mounts is a veteran in the industry and has always done a great job. And not only is his work on Immortal Hulk great, but with Joe Bennett in particular, they're really cranking out some great work artistically. One God Tank says, I agree, those are beautiful. Yeah, fantastic coloring out there. Greg Tocchini on Rick Remender's Low. Oh, yeah. I haven't read all of Low, but I am familiar with that artist. He did a run on, he did a story in Uncanny X-Force with Remender, and I flipped through the artwork, and the artwork is amazing, especially the coloring. Who's the colorist on East to West? Is it like Frank Martin? That's amazing stuff. That's really good stuff. You know, those are just some of the examples I wanted to point out, but there's so many great ones. Jason Wordy is a fantastic colorist. He colors Wasted Space. He colored God Country over Jeff Shaw. He adds so much texture and richness. Yeah, Immortal Hulk color is crazy. Amazing. Killlock Sleeper. People really sleeping on Killlock, Wolf says. I have a lot of my people have been talking about it. A lot of the PCP Army's been talking a lot of good things about Killlock. Bob on Everything Comics has been digging Killlock. I know a lot of people have. I fell out of it. I know Dylan's been digging Killlock, so I fell out of it. Maybe I need to get caught back up. It seems like everybody's on it. Hey, Jay Bonilla, thank you so much. We do appreciate that. All right, we got 45 people watching and 42 thumbs up. We got 1 thumbs down, but who cares? It happens. We're not here for the thumbs downs. We're here for the thumbs up. If we can get 3 more thumbs up as of right now, 2 more because we lost a viewer, apparently. 2 more thumbs up. Oh, we lost 2 people, so that works too. We lost 2 people, so now we're at 42 and 42, so we reached our goal. That's one way to do it. That's hilarious. Anyway. I mentioned something about somebody thumbs down, and it was they were probably still here, and they're like, ugh. Whoever does Far Sector makes it pop. I believe that's Jamal Campbell, the entire artist. I think he illustrates the entire thing. So yeah, that's really, really good stuff. You're right. His coloring on Naomi was fantastic too. William says Nolan Woodard, Daredevil colorist. Yeah, Nolan's a great dude, and he's a great colorist. He did some Star Wars work and some work on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. He's going to be at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo this year. He's been at my shop before. I saw him in Heroes Con. I don't know him, but I know him. Does that make sense? Who did colors on 7 to Eternity? Anybody know? Stephanie Hans on Dye. There's some fantastic colors there. Says Slime. What's up, Slime? I like Mike Del Mundo's colors on Thor. Yeah, good stuff. Can't sleep on Will Sleaney and Guru Effects on the Rise of Kylo Ren. Livio Ramondelli is definitely doing it all. Love the colors in Farmhand, Brian says. Yeah, Del Mundo does have some great covers. And covers. Heck yeah. Good conversation. Anybody else have anything they want to throw in for favorite colorists? Otherwise, let's get some conversation going. Let's get some questions in. We talked about Picard. We talked about colorists. Robert says, I'm horrible at colorist names, unfortunately. That's cool, Robert. You can just tell us what books. We can kind of piece it together for the most part. We got Show and Tell coming up here in a little bit. Kid and Puke is right. Farmhand is such a great book. I think that book is great. They're doing no, they're not doing a Farmhand crossover. They're doing a Chew Outer Darkness crossover, which is an interesting, compelling idea. I've never read all of Chew. In fact, I've never read any of Chew. So I definitely need to do that. Woods coloring on Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run. So disappointment by the recoloring on the Absolute Edition. I've heard some stuff out there about the recoloring of Swamp Thing. Sometimes I feel like they need to recolor the old stuff, but I don't think that's always necessarily the case. And those Swamp Thing ones is one of those definite exceptions. I mean, not exceptions. One of those instances, examples. Another one is to me. Another one is Killing Joke. As I was talking about, I love Killing Joke, the original coloring by Higgins, and I hate that it's gone in the new prints. Hamburger Basket says the plot colorist is tremendous. Yeah, that's Jordan Boyd. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Tom Smith's Avengers JLA. Yeah, that's great coloring on there. Yeah, the coloring on Ice Cream Man. Chris O'Halloran. No, I've only read the first issue of Outer Darkness so far. I need to read that too. I guess I can't read the crossover until I read both of those books, right? Yeah, Farmhand is great. Lots of love for Farmhand here. Yeah, the colorist on Something is Killing the Children. Cannot remember the person's name, but yeah, that's really good. What do you think about covers being exclusive to certain artist websites like Art Germ or J. Scott? I mean, whatever. You know, I don't really go for that kind of stuff. So, I mean, if it works, it works. If people like it, they like it. I don't buy stuff like that, though. A more interesting idea is, what is the psychology of someone who feels like they need all the covers? Why? DMET says Chew is great until the last arc. It felt like it ruined the whole series. Oh, man, don't tell me that. Robert says, one I don't like, the art or the coloring, is the Wonder Woman Black Label book that recently came out. Oh, Dead Earth, Daniel Warren Johnson. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Chris says, agree. I like the Higgins color better, too. Yeah, me too. I would hate it if they ever recolored Watchmen. Have they? I don't know if they have. Maybe they have. But yeah, they recolored Swamp Thing. They recolored that Killing Joke. And sometimes they do that with old school stuff. No reason for it. How about the color on the Iron Man 2020 was great. And the cover, wow. Yeah, that cover really popped. Two trades and you're caught up with Outer Darkness. You're right. I definitely need to get on that. Heck yeah. Let's see, what else? What else has happened? I'm excited about the show and tell, but I don't want to quite get to it yet. Hero and the Kid is out. Thank you, Hero and the Kid, for being here. I will point out once again that Comics Revisited has a new episode this upcoming Friday. The Planetary episode is out right now. So definitely check that out. But me and Brooks are going to be talking about Zenith, the Grant Morrison comic book. If you've never read it, you really should. We'll be talking about it this Friday morning on Comics Revisited. Dave says, what non-main Batman series have you read and enjoyed, like Legends of the Dark Knight, Shadows of the Batman, Batman Confidential, etc.? Batman Incorporated by Grant Morrison was a good one. I really liked. Batman's Grave is one currently that I'm really enjoying. So those ones, and then other, like mini-series and things like that, like Long Halloween, obviously, Dark Victory, Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, doing fantastic stuff there. So yeah, stuff like that. There was a Greg Rucka, Klaus Janson book called Batman Death and the Maidens. I really liked that one. But Legends of the Dark Knight has some really good stories in it, including Gothic, which is a Grant Morrison, Klaus Janson story, which is really good. How come cover artists like Art Adams, J. Scott Campbell, Adam Hughes, etc. do not do interior art? I don't, because they can't keep up with it. They can't keep up with the pace of it. Honestly, I think that's what it is. They can't do a 22-page comic book every month. And being a name like they are, they get paid sometimes pretty well for their cover art. And sometimes that can be more lucrative than a page rate. And so I think that's what's happened with those people. Chris says Ted Turner's my favorite colorist. Not familiar with Ted Turner's work. What has he worked on? Fetal Ape says the colors for Vampirilla are on Hit. Wolf says Tamara Bonvillain, one of the best. Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, Once and Future. Hell yeah. C3 says Miguel Muerto is doing the art and Something's Killing the Children. Yeah. That's a good one. I do not know of any comics featuring Kobe Bryant, but if there are any, I bet they'll start seeing some movement. Beyond just coloring, what about favorite specialty features do you like that comics have done? Like holograms, the clear covers that overlay the cover. Oh, man, my absolute favorite is just like chromium foil. Love that shit. And I love the hologram covers on Fatal Attractions. Me and Brooks are did a Comics Revisited episode about that. It's going to be so fun. Yeah, I'm a sucker for all that stuff. I love a die-cut cover. Yeah. But I love the holograms. Those DC 3D covers, the villains ones in particular, were some of my favorite ones of recent years. How is everyone liking the new Guardians of the Galaxy by Al Ewing? Russell, I thought it was okay. Could have been better. It has some interesting ideas, but it didn't super grab me. Fetal Ape says colors on Count Crowley are bumping too. That's a good book. That's why the Marvel and DC app are great for revisiting titles like Shadow the Bat, Back Issue Treasure. Yeah. Fetal Ape says, I was good with the new Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was worried that I wouldn't be. Joe Quesada posted on Twitter an ESPN magazine cover art he did with Kobe on it. Cool. People will be definitely looking for that one. All right, we're about to get to the show and tell portion of the program now. I got a Green Ranger action figure to open up. I've been collecting up the Hasbro Lightning collection. So we're going to do this Green Ranger right here. He comes with a putty. This is their way to get you to buy the putty, basically, is to put it with the Green Ranger. You can only get the Green Ranger in 2-pack. There's other 2-packs. There's one right there. Lost Galaxy, right? Yeah, Lost Galaxy. But it comes with the red Psycho Ranger, which looks badass. And I got the blue one. Sorry, Ted Turner joke was a little too old for the room. Ted Turner, yeah, okay. Yeah, the colorization of old Hollywood. I know what you're talking about now. Oh, did he recolor Citizen Kane? I never saw that. I bet that's atrocious. So we're going to open this up. So I got my Green Ranger shrine right there. Aww. Do you know if when they convert older Silver and Golden Age books to digital, they revolve them? What do you mean revolve them, Dave? I know sometimes they enhance the colors, but I don't know what we mean by revolve. So here we go. But it's cool because I'm cool with the putty anyway. So, of course, I want a putty. Let's open it up. Shit. There we go. First of all, once again, I just want to mention how badass the cover artwork is on these things. They're all so good. They make you not want to throw away the box. Green Ranger's got the green energy that's going to go on the Sword of Darkness. It's going to make it look badass. So let's take a look at the putty first. So here's the putty. He's got a couple different hands, so you can make him have 2 regular hands, and he's got one with like a ball on it, and then this one with a blade. Do they recolor Silver Age books when they convert books to digital? I know they enhance the colors. Are you going to get the green Jew Ranger from Japan? I don't even know what we're talking about. I've got the... What's that? Figure Arts. I got the Figure Arts one, so that's good enough for me. That and this Lightning collection. I'm getting the Lightning collection because they're doing other Rangers from other series, and they're doing the villains. The putty, actually, this is probably one of the better putty figures ever. I hope they do a Lord Zed specific putty. That would be cool. It'd be cool if it would fall apart too. But I like the option for different hands, stuff like that. So anyway, there it is. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking. But now let's get to Tommy. Comes with the Sword of Darkness. Comes with the Dragon Dagger. He's got the newer designed helmet with the silver on it. You can see right there. Cool looking figure though. So he's got the Dragon Dagger, and let's just go ahead and pull that out. He's got his Tommy head, too, and actually, that Tommy head doesn't look too bad. Usually, these Power Ranger figures, the heads have not looked the greatest. This is probably the best looking one. Nope. I don't want to focus on it. I'm trying to help it out. Yeah, see that? It actually looks pretty clean. Looks pretty good. I will say that the Sword of Darkness looks pretty tiny for this figure. All right. So there's the figure itself. Let's get his dragon dagger in its sheath. Boom. Pretty dope. Looks good. Nice detail on it. I like the helmet design. But I'm pretty sure the Sword of Darkness is going to... putty in my hands. I'm pretty sure the Sword of Darkness is going to be damn too small. I can't even get it in his hands. Anyway, let's just pretend it's in his hands. See that? See the size of that? See that? See this? See the size of the blade? This is a bigger figure right here, and the blade's smaller. So this is way better. Obviously, the figure arts are better. But yeah, there's both of them side by side. Still cool. Still dope. So, but I bet maybe it'll look bigger with the with this on it. That's a damn small. So I like the figure, but it's got a very, very small Sword of Darkness. I'll say that. I'll say that. Superpower beatdown with the White Ranger versus Scorpion and then Green Ranger versus Ryu. Both were really awesome. I agree, social commentary. I could do a Ranger's head in a basket. Yeah. That's funny. All right, so that brings us to the end of the show. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you got any final thoughts, questions, or comments, get them in right now. I do want to do a quick little, once again, thank you to our Patreons over at patreon.com/PCP. We got David, Alex, Adim, Nelson, Brian, Dean, Jason, Brian, Reggie, the Reggie, Robert, Javi, Peter, Dunlaney, and TJ. We really do appreciate the support. You can support us like I said again, at patreon.com/PCP or just by watching these videos. We really do appreciate it. All the streams that you join us for, all the videos, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz and more. You can follow me on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can join the PCP Army, which is the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group, and we are also on Instagram, so find us there. We really do appreciate everybody being here on a Sunday night. No live stream next week because of Super Bowl. This is actually a game that I'm excited to watch, so I'm definitely going to be checking that one out. But we'll be back the week after that for yet another Rockin Robbie Live, and maybe we'll have a surprise here and there. We're thinking about another 3-piece. Me, Brooks, and Jelani on a live stream again soon. We're thinking about maybe discussing X-Men comics in a spoiler-filled live stream. Would you guys be down for that? I think most of us would be. So that may be coming up soon. Once again, I want to thank you and remind you that Comics Revisited has a new episode out this upcoming Friday. It's about Grant Morrison's Zenith comic book. Really good stuff. The Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo is a-coming, and you don't want to miss it. It's always a grand old time at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. We really do appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for being here. Y'all are just the best. This is the coolest thing I've ever done, pretty much, is this whole YouTube channel and interacting with y'all and meeting y'all. And it just blesses us every single week, and I really love being a part of this. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Have a good week, y'all.